So today I am wiring my top case to be able to charge my electronics, all of my electronics, when I'm rolling down the road. I got batteries, I got all kinds of stuff, but it's really cool because I also keep a laptop in there. I've covered a lot of this on the first build of this top case back when I first put it on the Tiger. But if you missed all that, I'll leave a link. But the short story is I've got a custom panel here built in for my laptop, and I can actually charge my laptop as I'm rolling down the road, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I make videos, put them on YouTube. But I have also, previously, I ran a cable through here, and this is just to encourage folks that don't have a good design, or they don't want to spend $1,000 on some kind of custom box. There should be nothing stopping you if you've got just a little bit of skill, a little bit of know-how. And this is one of those times where I could have used a stock cable. Let me go ahead and plug this thing back in. I haven't run the cable yet, but basically I had a hole drilled in here. This just runs directly to the battery. I may or may not put a switch in here. I actually got the switch out, and I was going to put it on a panel on the outside of the bike. That way, if I saw this little light running, yeah, I was going to mount it somewhere outside the bike. And I'm thinking, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to that little switch thing. But I'm also thinking maybe it just needs to be a little bit more waterproof too. I think this is relatively waterproof. I've had them outside for years, but anyway. So I had a hole punched in here before. You've got to do some modifications, and somebody might go, oh geez, I don't want to put a hole in my top case because it's waterproof now. Yes, it is waterproof now, relatively. I don't know if you get upside down in a creek, maybe not, but these seams have a little rubber gasket in there. They're relatively waterproof. You may remember me repairing this top case after the crash. So, you know, if you've got a little skills, you can do anything you want. Or if you have skills and or ignorance enough to think that you can do it and you just figure it out on the way. That's kind of typically what I do. But now I'm just going to put some little silicone on here to keep out the water. It's pretty important if you're carrying electronics around in a top case. You really want to keep out the water pretty much at all times. Fun fact, this thing was hardwired before on the Tiger. So basically it was wired. I had a little DC cigarette lighter adapter. That way I could do all kinds of things in here. But the fun fact is everything that I wanted after my crash was in this top box. My laptop, my cameras, all the stuff that was important to me. So one of the sheriff's deputies came up and said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "Man, I'm glad you asked." This is while I'm sitting on the side of the road bleeding out. No, they'd already stopped the flow of blood with 3 or 4 tourniquets. I'm surprised I still have my leg. But yeah, the sheriff's deputy came and said, what can I do for you?" Which I think was the best question anybody asked me that whole day. They didn't say, "Hey, you want us to transport you somewhere? You want us to take you?" None of that. You want to fly? You want to take a $104,000 helicopter flight to Nashville? Nobody asked me. But this deputy said, "What can I do for you?" I said, "Man, I need that top box in my tank bag. Some stuff in my tank bag. My wallet's in there. My phone's in there. Get the stuff out of my tank bag and get that top case off. I want that to go with me." So he promptly grabbed the keys, popped this thing off, and I said, "Hey, look, once you get it off, you're going to have to cut that cable." And so basically the cable was dangling and it was run straight to the battery from under here. So So I said, you had to cut that battery. So that was an example of hardwired, and I don't want to have to do that again. I want to be able to take this thing off, like I'm about to do right now, and roll with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing now. All right, same thing on the bottom. Just gonna hit it with some alcohol, get all the grease, or most of the grease off, all the surfaces, and get the dirt and the dust off. That's kind of important. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And then I'm gonna come in here and show you how to do the silicone. And this is black whiting door, window, door, siding, trim. It's pretty good stuff. What is this? DAP. Sometimes it gets clogged up, especially if it's been sitting for a while. Oh, there we go. So sometimes there's a plug in there. You just kind of squish out the drier stuff. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to squirt a little of this through the hole, and then I really want to make it fancy on the outside, right? And a trick that I learned, actually a painter taught me this a few years ago when I was painting. He's like, man, wet your wet your finger and you can smooth that stuff and it won't stick to your finger. I'm not gonna wet it. I'm just gonna put some alcohol on it, right? I'm gonna bang it down on there. See if I can push some of this stuff in here. Doesn't look bad. I'm gonna smooth it out really good here in a second. Really want to get it kind of a big spot back here. It makes me wonder sometimes why I make these videos, because nobody really watches these. But to me, I think that it's the stuff that nobody else does is the most interesting, especially if you're looking for custom stuff. I'm always looking for stuff, interesting ideas, the way people do things differently than me. So these are the things that I would like to see. And regardless of if anybody else ever wants to watch it, I'm going to make them anyway, just because I like custom stuff. And now, hopefully, you can still see. It's really most important to get the outside covered, and the inside is just kind of like double protection. Same thing, I'm just going to go around the cable a couple times and then try to squish it in the hole. And believe it or not, it's these blocks are being held on by the same silicone. It's not great glue, but it's, it's not bad. Same thing, alcohol. This is what I use for my prosthetic. Not pretty, but I really don't know who's giving out the awards this year for pretty. So, and I know in the past I've never won an award for pretty. So it's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point really? All my hopes and dreams dashed again. So now all I got to do is run the cable down through here, run it up through here, plug it in, and I'm good. I have got a working electrified DC converted top case. And I'm pretty proud of that. So I hope you are too. After that's done, I can come back in here and I can put one of these back on here, or I can put one of these guys on here. I can jack into whatever the heck I want to do now that I've got the DC run. And I may just leave one of these in here just in case. And In fact, yeah, I know I'm going to do that because the laptop charger I've got requires one of these. So maybe what I'll do is put a splitter in here. I'll have one of this tied to this, and then I'll have something else coming off, maybe just another one of these. So when this comes out, plugs into there, I'll have this. This will be what it looks like when I plug that thing in. I have two of these, so I have some options. But yeah, that's next. But for now, that's my custom DC wired top case. You should try it. It's just plastic. It's no big deal.
Here's to the journeys, the paths yet unknown. On this endless highway, I call home. With every mile, I'm chasing the sun. Motor giant rides on, adventure's begun.